Okay, so I think like we did play really well, but I think it should have been more clinical. And credit to Carl Daldo, that guy could have saved life.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pretentious Pundits, a podcast where we discuss all things football and pretend to know what we're talking about. I'm back with the lads. There's Yasir, there's Shashik, there's Fawaz down there, and at the far corner you can see Hari, and we're joined by my cousin Anil. Say hi, guys.
Hi guys.
Hey guys.
So the game week 3 of the EPL is over, and there are so many talking points, and most of them controversial and pertaining to one particular topic, and that is VAR.
AR controversy. That's it.
Yeah, this has been a week where the game weeks, the games have been dominated by VAR decisions, most of which have triggered the fans beyond belief. And we have a few triggered fans in this chat room right now. If you can guess by the color of their t-shirts who they are, and also some who are very happy but not wearing the t-shirts. So anyways, let's kick it off with the first fixture, and that was Brighton versus Man United, that ended in a very controversial 2-3 victory to Manchester United. And I would just like to know, off the straight off the bat, Fawaz, being a Manchester United fan, how did you take the full-time result?
I honestly feel like Brighton deserves much better. I mean, in fact, they deserve to beat us, hitting the post 5 times. So we got very lucky over there. But I'm happy for my team because they didn't give up, even though they conceded a late goal in the final minutes. They still went into the Brighton box and somehow, they tried to head the ball in. And of course, everyone is talking about that handball because the full time whistle was blown. But then for me, it was a handball. And I know I'm a Man U fan, and everyone will be like, of course,
It
we were
was
very happy
it
with the
was Neil
result.
Maupay of all
It
people
was
as well.
it was insane.
Parenka?
It-
After
yeah,
the
in my
Parenka blood,
opinion, in my opinion, Man United
Hey,
owes
guys,
to
guys.
Neil Maupay and VAR. That's their success for the win. They
I
owe
mean,
to- oh come on!
yeah, I think it's ironical that Neil Maupay was involved in the handball incident after what he did in the penalty where he dinked it over De Gea. It was brilliant because I think, and he did the celebration as well. He
oh
did
god.
the Mbappe
How
celebration.
ironic!
Is it?
You can already see FIFA 21 written all over that celebration.
Yeah, I'm not buying the game just because of that.
None of us are buying the game.
That celebration.
I think that once you blow the full-time whistle, I don't think that like the players have gone in and then you start the game again just because you made an error. Even if the VAR takes some time to check and recheck, I think the referee could have stopped the play.
Yeah.
Could have, that's done, and that's usually done. Why did he blow the whistle first and then to rectify his error? If you think about it, whenever we see these VAR decisions go for a team, it's usually the same teams. Usually the Cities, the Liverpools, the Chelseas. For some reason.
Speaking of senseless VAR decisions, there's another fixture that comes to mind, and that's Crystal Palace versus Everton. Where is the consistency, lads? Where is the consistency? I mean, the rule is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, the new handball rule. And also, when you put in this new handball rule, I feel like the rule to restrict keepers to their line when you retake the penalty if they step off the line, it also feels pretty ridiculous to me because it's a keeper's natural reaction to run towards the goddamn ball.
Exactly. Like even like I said in the game week 1, where De Gea saved the penalty for this thing
Yeah.
against Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
I mean, after the retake, their whole morale was down because
True.
they weren't satisfied with the decision, and it's natural for a keeper to just step out of the line and go to save because the keeper also has to confuse the penalty taker.
Yeah.
I think
It's a ridiculous
it's 1 foot. It's 1 foot on the line
Yeah,
before
1 foot on the
I
line,
think they
yeah.
make the jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was
Yeah, even-
inches.
There was just mere inches in
That's
it.
why they got VR and stuff. Huh? So to
Yeah,
all these inches
that's what
out.
Yeah, even Crystal Palace manager is telling like this is a rule, this is ruining the game of football.
It is.
The
Roy
rule.
Hodgson.
That's how he described.
True.
It's absolutely
Yes.
true.
Even Ancelotti agreed to it, I guess. Even Ancelotti also agreed to it after the post match.
I think the new rule.
And if you think about it, last game when this handball decision went in favor of Crystal Palace, right, against United. I think then also Roy Hodgson pointed out that this rule was a little.
What was that goddamn decision that went against Ward? What is the man meant to do? I mean, he's practically he's barely a foot away from the ball. And the pace at which the ball was struck. I mean, there's no possible way he could.
That's why the rule doesn't make sense. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, you can't. Humanly, it's not possible to move your hand at that pace when the ball is coming at that pace. It
True.
doesn't make sense.
And plus,
I mean, and plus when the decision of handball was not given against Everton when it hit Dominic Calvert-Lewin's hand. And I feel like, people may argue that it hit his body first and then,
that was more of handball.
yeah, and it deflected off of his torso and then hit his hand. But I feel like in that position as well, he was far away from the ball. He had enough time to move his hand and still his hand was in an unnatural position. And after hitting his body, after the ball traveled so many, yards and then hit him and brushed off his hand, I feel like that was more of a penalty call than we have seen in any of the game weeks so far, because there was so much distance, so much time to judge the flight of the ball and to go ahead and do that and still not come up with a penalty. I feel like Roy Hodgson's men were hard done. And I feel like one game that, relatively wasn't influenced so much by VAR, but was probably the most thrilling game of the game week. And I'm looking at the Chelsea fan down there in the window. West Brom versus Chelsea, 3-3. Callum Robinson.
The funny thing is that Callum Robinson, he scored last year against us as well. He played for Sheffield United and he scored in a 2-2
That was his
draw.
only goal. That was his only goal in the Prem last season.
He loves playing against us. But I think we gifted him those goals. Marcus
True.
Alonso losing the ball in midfield. He gave the ball away. And then
Lampard
Callum
was
Robinson scored.
furious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
The captain.
Kovacic for the second goal. Kovacic was for the second goal. He was to blame because he played the ball when he was under pressure. Thiago Silva was, I think, under pressure already, and he was looking at the player in front of him. So, like, he had his eyes on the ball. So that's obviously an excuse, but he was to blame there. And then things just went from bad to worse. Yeah.
We have a string of 1-0 victories. I wouldn't call these matches boring, but trust me, I didn't have any fun watching these games. I feel like Burnley Southampton that ended in like 1-0. For anybody watching the game, that is, Southampton and Burnley, I mean, I know I did watch the first half, and trust me, I went to sleep after that. This is how to sum up the Southampton. Yeah, this is how I would sum up the Southampton Burnley game. Southampton destroyed Burnley in the opening minutes, literally pressured them so hard, and they got a goal. Yeah, they got a goal in 5 minutes, like Danny scored, and trust me, it was a brilliant goal. Nothing taken away from Southampton. Brilliant goal. One more game that I would like to talk about is Leeds versus Sheffield versus Leeds. Pretty much, like, that's one game, like, whenever you watch Leeds play, right, you never get bored because it's just like that constant pressure that they keep putting and the one-touch football that they keep playing. I mean, I feel like, the goal that these guys scored, the goal that Leeds scored, Ramsdale should have done a little bit better in his judgment because he was diving in the wrong direction even before Bamford took his header on. And it's just gone from bad to worse at this point for Aaron Ramsdale. Now let's get into the next one, and I already see a very disgruntled Tottenham fan on the screen. A very disgruntled Tottenham fan on the
Not
screen.
disgruntled anymore.
Not anymore, but I actually got onto a call with him right after the match, and he was pretty upset, and understandably so. The game ended 1-1, which it probably shouldn't have, in my honest opinion. That was a very undeserved penalty to Newcastle.
VAR controversy.
Exactly.
Another VAR
Exactly, and Tottenham dominated the game.
Okay, so I think like we did play really well, but I think it should have been more clinical. And credit to Carl Darlow, that guy could have saved like.
No, you
And
didn't
another-
have to go there.
I don't know if I can put this for our own safety.
Controversy, bhai.
Bro, then
Buddy, don't go there. No.
Would have
Bhaiya, nahi.
and that match was a perfect definition of being Spursy, I think. And fun fact, Carl Darlow made 11 saves in that game. You know
Yeah.
who held the record before that?
Tim Krul against Tottenham.
14 saves.
14 saves in one.
Newcastle keepers against us play like they don't, like it's their last match in their life and they need to save everything in the world. They got the penalty from a free kick, and that wasn't a free kick at all. Joelinton fell on Pierre, and the referee was not even looking there. He was looking somewhere else. He मुड़ा, उसने देखा कि अच्छा 2 player गिरे, obviously Tottenham. A player ही तो foul करता है, obviously. Game से like it was not a foul. The player was offside, and also when Dyer was not even looking at the ball, Andy Carroll,
Exactly.
Dyer was not looking at the ball, and he was pushed on the back. What else is he supposed to do when you jump and you come down? Use your hands to balance yourself, right? He was doing that, and
Yeah.
it hit his hand. He was not even looking, and the referee is like, sure, yes, help it there. करना पड़ेगा.
Newcastle owes this match to VAR.
Yeah, on that point, let's move on to perhaps one of the most surprising scoreline of this entire game week. And freaking hell, if I don't say so myself, they could have won by more. I'm talking about Manchester City v Leicester. And what an insane game. What an insane game. I'm at a loss of words.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
I was laughing by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was right up there.
Yes, exactly. You know what a comeback victory for Leicester, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
brilliant. What
I
is
mean,
just
my
destroyed
FPL is
City's
gone.
defense.
All of our FPLs are dead.
All of us are
Bro,
like
My
what
defense
just
was very
my
bad.
defense was Man
demolished.
City.
Just demolished, City's defense.
Do this.
They're managed by Brendan Rodgers. Even if they're winning, they'll somehow finish it.
Probably against Crystal Palace when they're winning 3-0.
Selhurst Park.
And then something happens.
Sri
Dwight
Gale.
Dwight Gale doesn't even start for Newcastle.
I know. He doesn't even start for Newcastle now. I feel like it's fair to say that this week wasn't more focused on football, more so towards shitty refereeing. And I feel like that's why we don't have many talking points as a neutral fan, because all of us at some point or the other have been handed either a boost or have been done over by the VR completely. So therefore, there is no neutral ground to talk over.
I want to add one point. The one negative point about City and Leicester match, fans were not there. Fans were not there to witness that match.
It wasn't
Like,
Etihad.
very
Fans are, yeah, even if. Anyways, moving on to the next match, and probably the best day of David Moyes' career. And,
He wasn't there.
and he wasn't there. He's probably asking his missus to switch on the TV after watching the first goal go in. I mean,
I think 4-0 होने के बाद he would have also been like Wolves won 4-0. Best.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's the way it went. I think he'd have asked his wife if what's the score, and he would have said 4-0. Oh, fine, 4-0. And then when his wife would have told him that it was 4-0 to West Ham, he would have been in disbelief.
I mean, obviously. Okay, never mind then. Let's
Next
just.
season, West Ham will be in the Championship. So
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of the penultimate fixture of the EPL game week, and that's Fulham versus Aston Villa. Probably one of the most shocking results to see from a very off. I felt like Fulham should have at least scored one goal at home.
Aston Villa, yeah, of course, because they had 16 shots. They should have got at least one goal, and they were having most of the possession in that game. But Aston Villa and Sheffield have switched places from last season.
Yeah,
Literally,
it looks like it.
the way
Aston
Sheffield
Villa have
played
6
last
points on the
season,
board.
they're in fourth place.
Exactly,
They're
they won
in fourth
2
place as
games.
of now, and these 6 points are so crucial. They won 2 games. It will be so crucial for them at the end of the season. But they don't look like they're going to stop, especially if they signed Ross Barkley now, and they have a good squad. They signed Bertrand Traore. They have Trezeguet. They have Ollie Watkins, and the squad is playing really well.
Megan,
Attacking well.
don't forget Megan, the man who probably
John
Grealish.
Grealish, Jack Grealish.
That goal.
The name just don't stop.
Martinez.
We all thought that Aston Villa will have a bad start and they'll finally go down this time, but it doesn't look like it. It's too early to say, but they have changed the way they play, and they've gotten 6 points, which is very crucial for them. We should just see now how they'll fare against the big teams, but if they just carry on the same form, I think they can stay up in the Premier League.
Yeah, apart from that, moving on to the last fixture of the game week, Liverpool versus Arsenal. Pretty much feel like a truckload of hate coming towards us on social media as well. Fans of every single PL team very unhappy with the result. Lots of controversies there as well. Shashik, just tell us about the game. In your opinion, do you think that Mane challenge on Tierney was a red card? And also that controversial Jota goal that wasn't even checked by VAR, by the way.
I think Mane's foul. It was an elbow, but because it was early on in the game, there still pulled out the red. It was barely 4 minutes, 5 minutes into the game. And I think refs do tend to take it easy when it's these kind of games. They don't let big name players off.
Yeah, true.
Very early
Like
Did
Bhaiya said,
he get a yellow for
referees
that?
are.
He did get a yellow for that. I feel like if this was I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm just going to come out and say this, and I feel like if this was a tackle by a player of any other team, it would have been a straight red.
Yeah.
And I feel like while
Bhaiya
people,
said,
yeah,
referees, their decisions
True.
differ when it comes to big teams.
yeah, and I think
Big teams, it changes according
yeah,
to-
it changes according to the team. Okay. So on that note, we'll end this episode here, guys. Thanks a lot for watching this episode, and a very special thanks to Anil Bhaiya for being here for this one.
Thank you guys for inviting me to the PP gang.
Big PP.
Big PP gang. Anyways, so if you guys are new around here, please make sure to follow our podcast, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a like on this video and let us know what your views are on the controversial decisions made this game week in the comment section down below. And also make sure to follow our Instagram page @PretentiousPundits, the link to which will be down in the description. And our podcast is also out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a lot of other podcast sites, the links to which will also be down in the description as well as in the bio of our Instagram channel. So please go do check that out. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Hi guys.